For the last handful of years, around this time of year, I post some of my favorite books that I read from this year. And while I don't recommend everything that I read, I have chosen 5 books that I just would love to briefly share with you about and how they have impacted my life and my walk with Jesus. And I hope as you look forward to the new year and you begin making either resolutions or commitments to, commitments to put into practice some things in your life to make this year a better, more fruitful, more productive one. I hope reading, learning is at the top of your list. Never stop learning. A disciple is a learner by definition and a student. And so consider one of these books or all of them if you so desire. The first book is The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry by John Mark Comer. This little book is a quick read, but it's powerful, just about the power found in slowing down and enjoying your walk with Christ. And so there's really, really practical things in this book for you to consider about how the current state of, or the current pace of your life is affecting your spiritual life, and also some next steps, some things you could do to very practically slow down and walk with Jesus at a more deliberate, more intentional pace. Book number 2 is by Felicia Masonheimer, and it's called Stop Calling Me Beautiful. The title is a little bit clickbaity, but it's a great book on discipleship. It was written by a woman for women. However, I benefited greatly from this book. The chapter on legalism alone is worth the price. And so I encourage you to consider Felicia Masonheimer's book on discipleship. It's fantastic. Or maybe you're looking for something in the marriage realm. 7 Principles for Making Marriage Work by Dr. Gottman and Gottman. The thing about this book is the Gottmans are 2 of America's foremost relationship experts. They're Jewish, so this isn't overtly Christian book. However, what they have in here is unbelievable. And so all of their research that they have been doing on relationships and what separates great relationships from mediocre marriages is all been rooted and established in science and observations and the research that they've done over 30 years in studying couples in what they call their love lab, which is quite an interesting space to say the least. But consider this book, 7 Principles for Making Marriage Work by the Gottmans. I think you'll really like that one as well. This next book has been particularly influential in my life as I've read it about 3 times now this year. Get Your Life Back by John Eldredge. It came out just before the pandemic hit, and I'm so glad I had the opportunity to read it at that time early on in 2020. Again, it's all about spiritual disciplines and discipleship and practices. It has some things in here about the practices of slowing down, but also silence and solitude, also remembering and surrender and belief. Like there are just some everyday practices, getting outside into nature. There are some very, very simple things that you and I can do in the upcoming year to not just maintain, not just survive, but thrive in our faith. And so this book can really help you do that if you implement just one thing, one practical practice, one thing from this book. I think you'll really like this book too. So if you're an Eldredge fan, you'll really like his stuff. If you've never read Eldredge before, you'll really like this book as well. There's one book. So if there's one book that I can recommend of all of these to start for 2021, I recommend this one. It's called The Cure, and the subtitle is What If God Isn't Who You Think He Is, and Neither Are You? This book is written by John Lynch, and it's not a very big book, as you can tell, but it's a parable. It's a living story with commentators' notes written in it. And I don't have time to get into the story, but I will say this, that if you want to know more about what it actually is like to live more wholeheartedly before God, this is the book you should read. This is a powerful, powerful story. And I believe that if you read this and really engage with it, that you will learn more about what it looks like to live wholeheartedly before God in a life, an abundant life that Jesus promises, a life filled with grace and truth and openness and transparency like never before. And so I just want to encourage you, man, check out one of these books, or I'd love to hear what kind of book has impacted you a lot over this year. So please feel free, share, help me learn from you, and share what you have been reading over this year that you really, really enjoyed or you were very challenged by or impacted by. I would love to hear it.